You've got pages and pages and pages of transcripts, and you're like, how do I get from this to a nice, neat little list of themes? And what even is a theme? If we've not met before, hi, I'm Dr. Elizabeth Yardy, and qualitative research is my jam. And Braun and Clarke's reflexive thematic analysis is one of my favourite qualitative methods. And the reason I like it so much is because it is one of the most flexible, most powerful ways to make sense of a lot of very messy qualitative data. The kind of data that you get from participant interviews, from focus groups, from open-ended surveys, the kind of data that just feels like a big pile of chaos. Let's start with the basics. What is reflexive thematic analysis? Well, essentially, it's a way of spotting the common threads, the recurring ideas and emotions and experiences that keep showing up amongst different participants. And it's about pulling all those things together into themes that are going to help you tell the bigger story of what's actually going on here. Now, in terms of the reflexive bit, that means that you have an active awareness of what you're bringing to the table and how that's having an impact on what you're doing in your analysis. It's about recognizing how your background, your values, your assumptions shape what you're doing. And being aware of those things, reflecting on them, that might mean that you change things as you go along. So you're adapting and changing things on the fly as you're reflecting on your awareness, as you're reflecting on what you're bringing to the table. And the themes that are such a central part of reflexive thematic analysis, these are things that you have an active role in constructing. You build them from your own understandings of what's going on in the data. They are not just waiting there in the data for you to dig them out. You are actually developing them. So that's what it is. Those are a couple of important things to remember about it. Let's get into the step-by-step process. And there are essentially 6 stages in this particular type of thematic analysis. Let's start with stage 1. You begin by familiarising yourself with the data. Just read through your data without analysing or coding anything yet. Read it, reread it, and then summarise it. Take each page, take each section, and summarise it in a few sentences. Now, I know what you're thinking. Isn't summarising basically analysing? Isn't summarising basically just coding? Well, no, not quite. Think of it like a meal. Summarising would be like writing a quick description of the whole meal. Spicy curry with rice. Coding would be like tagging each individual ingredient and flavour. Chili, turmeric, coconut, garlic. Or think of it like a painting. Summarising would be describing the painting as a whole. So this is a beach scene. Coding would be pointing to the brushstrokes, the colours, the techniques, the small details that build up that painting. Let's look at an example that might come from a social sciences research project. Summarising might be something like this. The participant describes struggling with blurred boundaries at home, missing face-to-face support, and finding peers more helpful than official channels. Coding, which is the later step we'll look at in a moment, might include identifying things like boundary blurring, social isolation, peer support. So summarising is about capturing the gist of something, or the vibe. Coding is about labelling specific pieces of data. Step 2 is about generating initial codes. Now you start coding, and this is essentially attaching labels to small chunks of data that you think are relevant. Codes can be descriptive or they can be interpretive. So a descriptive code is about literally capturing what's being said. For example, missed deadlines. Interpretive codes go one step deeper to suggest meaning. For example, hidden rules. Now that exact phrase might not be something that the participant says word for word, but it adequately captures what's going on for them. Other examples of codes might be reluctance to ask for help, assumed knowledge, missed deadlines leading to consequences, peer support, institutional communications feeling impersonal. If you're finding this video helpful so far, you're probably going to love my guide to reflexive thematic analysis. Buy it, download it, have it next to you whilst you're doing your analysis. And you'll feel reassured that you're doing your analysis well because it gives you actual steps to follow. You're much less likely to go off on a tangent or go doing something that isn't going to be helpful, because that happens a lot in qualitative research, doesn't it? You're like, oh, that's interesting. I'm going to go and pursue that for 6 months. It helps you minimise all of that. The link to go and find out more about my guide is appearing on the screen right now, and I'll also put the link in the description for later. Step 3, construct your initial themes. This stage is about zooming out from the codes and building some initial themes. And themes are essentially the main ideas or the main storylines in your data. So a theme is basically a big idea that brings a set of codes together. Here are a couple of examples of how you might move from codes to themes. The codes, reluctance to ask for help, hidden rules, missed deadlines, they might all come together under a theme called navigating hidden systems. Peer support and institutional communications, feeling impersonal, might live underneath a theme called warmth versus formality in support. In step 4, you review and refine your themes. Think of this stage kind of like quality control. So here you're asking yourself, does the data that I brought together within this theme fit together genuinely? Does it all fit together and tell the same story? Or are some of the things that I've brought together underneath this theme pulling in different directions? Are there any contradictions within this theme? Here are some questions you might find helpful. Do the codes inside this theme feel like they're about the same big idea? Do the themes clearly differ from each other? Does each theme actually help me answer my research question? If not, tweak them, merge them, split them, delete some of them. Mess around with them, change them until they are telling the most coherent version of the story that's going on in your data. Step 5 is about defining and naming your themes. Here you give each theme a clear name and a short definition. What is this theme about and why does it matter? Say you've got a theme called feeling like an outsider. Part of your description of that might include a fear of asking for help and delays in getting support. Step 6 is about writing up. Here you are telling a clear, compelling story of what's going on in your data. You'll write about your themes and how they work together to answer your research questions. One of the most important things to remember when you're writing up is to start simple. I've seen it so often in qualitative research. There is often the tendency to go straight into the complexity, straight into the detail. Just take a step back from it and imagine how you would tell the story of your data to somebody coming across this topic for the first time. Be simple, be clear, explain why particular things matter before you get into the weeds of it. And present evidence to tell the story of how you arrived at particular conclusions. And here's an example of that. This participant described feeling like they'd missed the hidden deadlines. This was interpreted as part of a broader theme of learning the rules, which highlights how first-generation students often have to decode an unspoken curriculum. This extends existing research on hidden rules by showing how peers, rather than staff, become key translators. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you want more detailed step-by-step support, go and check out my guide to reflexive thematic analysis, which is in the description.